Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Tiana from Tianasaurus Hex, and today is an exciting video because I'm going to be doing a walkthrough of my newest creation, which is the Folk Animal Oracle deck. So yes, I created a new deck, and it's animal themed, and it's very, very cute. So I'm just going to be doing a full in-depth showcasing and walkthrough of this deck, giving you all the important information and details. I did a quick flip through on Instagram, which I will leave a link to the quick flip through as well, but this is the full detail, full information, chatty walkthrough kind of video. I do have a lot to cover, so it's best that I get started. So this deck has 54 cards. It's poker size, just like the Echo Tarot. So I'll do a little comparison. So here is the card from the Echo Tarot, which is also poker size, and then this is a card from the Oracle. They are the same size, so they're small. And then here is a deck that is standard tarot size, and this is the comparison. So this is how large how small, I should say, is the Folk Animal Oracle. So basically it's the same size as the tarot. They're poker sized. So, it's nice for travel, and again, for people who have small hands. I have small hands. So, it's just easier to shuffle a deck that is a smaller size. And it also makes for a nice pocket deck too, so you can take it with you on your travels. I am going to be publishing these decks this upcoming Wednesday, which would be November 12th. I'm going to be publishing them both on GameCrafter, and I'm going to be publishing them on Make Playing Cards as well. So on Make Playing Cards, I'm going to publish all of my decks. So the Echo Tarot will also be, all the Echo Tarot decks will also be up on Make Playing Cards, as well as these Oracle decks. On my Instagram bio, I will be putting the links to where you could purchase this deck if you are interested in purchasing the decks. I will also put the links when I publish these. If you come back to this video, the link should be in the description. I think you could also make a community post as well, so I could also make a community post here on YouTube too, and let you guys know that the decks are published. So there's that. So on GameCrafter, basically the cardstock is the same as it's the GameCrafter cardstock. It's the exact same as the Echo Tarot. I don't know how to describe the GameCrafter cardstock. GameCrafter doesn't really have a lot of options, so it's just their cardstock, and I put a UV coating on it, which kind of gives it this kind of sort of glossy look when I shine it over. So it's kind of a little glossy with the UV coating, because that's where I got my copies off GameCrafter, of course. So yeah, the UV finish does make the cards last longer. I'll actually show you guys my Echo Tarot decks I've used a lot this year, and I will say they are quite durable. They have not bowed or misshapen, or the edges don't look all too worn, just slightly worn, but not that much, and it's not bowed either. So GameCrafter's cardstock is actually pretty damn good. As for Make Playing Cards, so I should probably give some details on Make Playing Cards, because there's kind of a lot to talk about with MPC. So I've had a bunch of people who are overseas, so outside of the US, ask me if I could put my decks up on MPC, because it is just a lot more easy for them to buy off MPC than it is on GameCrafter. I think for some countries, they don't have to pay for customs fees from MPC, so MPC makes it a much more it makes it a much more like affordable option for people who are overseas. So that's why I am going to make all my decks available on Make Playing Cards. The thing though about Make Playing Cards, however, is that the base cost of the cards, so like with the just like a cards and the box, the base cost is a lot more expensive on MPC for like one copy than it is on GameCrafter. So unfortunately, the sell price will be higher on MPC for that reason. I think this might be because MPC is more for like bulk buying. Like the cost gets significantly reduced as the number of copies goes up. So like 100 copies and 500 copies, the price per deck gets a lot cheaper. But for like a single deck, it's pretty expensive. I don't know, I'm thinking like this might be why the cost of a single deck is much more expensive. So in order to provide a cheaper alternative to like getting my decks, I'm going to offer 2 versions on Make Playing Cards of all of my decks. So there will be a version without the tuck box, so it will just be the cards, and then there will be a version with a tuck box. So the without the tuck box is going to be should be more cheap, and then of course with the tuck box is going to cost more. So this is like just to offer a more affordable version. Like this is just like the alternative that I could provide. But otherwise, I'm hoping that overall, like for people who are international, it should maybe cost less because of like the maybe you might not have to pay for customs fees, maybe less shipping as well. So on that end, that's why I'm going to be putting up my decks on MPC, and I just wanted to like let you guys know that, just so you don't, just so that you don't feel like surprised as to like why it's like why the sell price is less on GameCrafter versus on MPC. Like that's the reason, unfortunately. And for Make Playing Cards, the card stock that I'm going to go with is going to be Superior Smooth. So all of my decks will be Superior Smooth cardstock. Okay, so let's discuss the artwork of this deck. So just like the Echo Tarot, this deck is meant to be like a lino cut, like kind of style. I did digitally illustrate them in Procreate, and the art is basically inspired by these like kind of cave paintings and like folk art style like animals. Like that's where I got the inspiration from, and so that's like how I that's how I illustrated these animals. I basically just like looked up like references on Google for like all the animals to see like what kind of poses I can draw them, and like, you know, just to like look at the sort of shape of the animals. And then I pretty much played around with the proportion where I made their like heads small and their like bodies really large. So you can see that here with the bear card, small head and giant body. And I just think that it gave this like really fun and cute look to the animals, that their bodies are big and then their heads are small. So yeah, I had a lot of fun like just literally playing around with the shapes and sizes of these animals. So I also want to do a side-by-side comparison of like the Echo Tarot and then the Folk Animal Oracle. I do feel like, you know, when I look at the illustrations of like the Echo Tarot versus the Folk Animal Oracle, I do feel like I have grown quite a bit as an artist. I feel like the Folk Animal, like in the Folk Animal Oracle, I feel like my like artistic, I don't know, like style, identity feels a lot more like established, and I think a lot more consistent as well. Like, of course, like the Echo Tarot was sort of like my way of like discovering my artistic identity. So I think now it's just more about like evolving that artistic style, artistic identity. So I do find that it's quite satisfying to see this like improvement in my art. Also, let's talk about the color differences. as well, because of the colors of the Folk Animal Oracle, I did not match it to the Echo Tarot exactly. There is still a classic edition and a strawberry edition, but the colors are a little bit different. I did make a post about this on my Instagram, but to like briefly recap, to me the Echo Tarot I feel like is a little bit more like a dynamic and rebellious feeling, and like I don't know, like energetic, or like this one feels kind of moody. This one's a little bit more like energetic, I will say. And so I feel like like the color palette suits the Echo Tarot very well. But when I tried to use these colors for the Folk Animal Oracle, I just don't think it really suited the deck. Because to me, the Folk Animal Oracle is just, you know, it's more of a sweet or the animals, they just have this much more like tender and sweet and cute look to them, that I wanted to go for more like warm and like softer colors. So here's like the comparison of the classics. So this is more gray and charcoal, whereas this one's more like cream and charcoal. And then here with the strawberry edition, we have like the Echo Tarot is like, it has a much more bright red. The pink is more cool toned, whereas the strawberry edition for the Folk Animal Oracle, the pink is a much more like warmer like shade. It's like softer and warmer shade of pink, and the red is also darkened a little bit, so it provides this more like toned down like version. So yeah, these are like the like, this is kind of like the reason for the like different color variations, even if it is like it's just like a different take on classic and on strawberry. And I also wanted to say that like this oracle is not necessarily meant to be it's not meant to be like a series or like some kind of continuation to the tarot. Like the oracle, I want it to be like its own, like it has its own identity, and I just wanted to like make that clear as well, that this is like its own deck, and not part of a series to the Echo Tarot. So I mean, even though like I am aware that they're gonna be like, of course, like paired together, or they're gonna be associated with one another, just because I created both of these decks and because of the similarity in the art style as well. But I just wanted to make that clear, that like this is not like a series or anything. I wanted it to have its own like, I want her to have her own moment, you know? Alright, so I believe that's everything that I want to say initially, so let's actually move on to the walkthrough portion. Let me do a quick little like flip through of the box. So this is the front. And then this is the side that has the edition. This one has my logo. This one has a long snake. And then this has the description and then my name. And then on the top, there is this coiled snake design. So that's what the tuck box looks like. Alright, so onto the cards. So this is what the backs look like. So it's the same like coiled snake that's on the top of that box, but they're symmetrical like this. And yeah, I just thought it was like nice, simple, cute little design. Okay, so I have zoomed you guys in closer to the cards. So now I'm just gonna be doing the flip through. So yeah, first card is Bat. Oh, is it not focusing? Okay, maybe I'll just have to keep it like this, because I don't know why when I move it closer, it just like gets out of focus. Okay, I'll just do this. Alright, Bat. I think you could see it fine though, you could see it clearly. So Bat is shift your focus. So since bats hang upside down, that's why I was like, oh, shift your focus, you know, that's perfect. Kind of reminds me of the Hanged Man in the tarot. That is the Bat. Okay, Bear is get some rest. So of course, you know, bears, they're all about hibernation. I wonder if you can see this, but on the animals, if I can, just please. Okay, I think this kind of works, but I just wanted to show that there are these like little, like first for a bunch of the animals, there are these like little fur details. I just wanted to make sure that like it does like get caught on the camera. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. I was hoping that it gets like caught on the camera, because I don't know if you can see like the little details. But yeah, just wanted to say there are those like little details on the cards that I wanted to show. But yeah, bears, hibernation. This bear is telling you to get some rest. So B is work towards your goals. Okay, is this crooked? Hold on. Oh my god. Okay, I think I fixed that. Oh my god, what is up with these technical difficulties today? The one exciting day I decide to record. It's okay. We're good now. Alright, B is work towards your goals. We got this big, fat bumblebee. Got a big bottom. With these wings. So yeah, you know, since bees are associated with productivity, work towards your goals is a card telling you be productive. Yeah, so there, as you can see, the messages are very like straightforward, very simple. Like there's no guidebook that you need for this deck. It's just like a very easy deck to read. That was kind of like the idea for this deck, was to make it like a good deck to like use as your daily card pulls, or a good deck to like pair with your readings. I actually have, like, ever since I got my copies, I actually have been using my deck in the mornings. I've been pulling out a card every day. I've just kind of been like alternating between the classic and the strawberry. And I also pulled out like a card for my week and for my month. So it's like a good deck to also get like a little message for your week, for your month. I wonder how this would be for like a Wheel of the Year kind of like situation. I don't know, but I guess you're free to try. Oh yeah, wait, I've got to keep it like this. Okay. So Bull is be mindful of your temper. So I wanted there to be an anger card in this deck, but I also didn't want like this card to be like, oh, like it's telling you to like calm down, just because I feel like with anger, of course you don't want to like let your anger like fester into like this bitterness and this like sense of vengefulness, but also anger is used to like let you know when there is some kind of injustice. So that's why I made this more of a neutral kind of anger card, where I just put be mindful of your temper, so it can kind of go either way, whether it's like, you know, the anger is like festering into bitterness, so you need to be mindful, or like whether you are angry because, you know, again, someone wronged you and you're like angry about it, it like lets you know, like be mindful, like what that anger is really trying to tell you. So I went more neutral with this anger card. So yeah. Yeah, that is Bull. And yeah, since like bulls are kind of angry animals, they're angry animals. So that's why I went with the angry theme for Bull. Okay, Butterfly is embrace transformation. I mean, I feel like this one's a very like obvious one. Why butterflies are transformation? Of course, you know, caterpillars get turned into a whole new creature, into a butterfly, so that's why it's transformation. And also, I also went in and added all these like little dots, and I really like how this butterfly card came out. I think it's very pretty. So that is Butterfly. Okay, Camel is don't give up. So with camels, I was like, oh, you know, since they tend to like represent like resilience and endurance, so I just thought that like, oh, don't give up is a good card, like telling you to be like resilient, like even if you are facing like, even if you might be like failing at something, or you might like things are not going as you anticipated. Like this card is here to be like, no, don't give up even if it's not working now. Just keep trying. Just keep going. So yeah, that is Camel. Alright, Cat. Spend some me time. Cats are one of those animals that have they can represent a lot of different things. But I was kind of thinking because cats, they like to be independent. They like to be on their own and independent. I just thought that like spend some me time was a good message to put for cats. It's kind of like the Hermit card where it's like telling you to like withdraw socially and like spend some time to yourself, you know. It's like go read a book, go watch a show. You know, it's like that that kind of a card. So that's what I went with for the cat. So Chameleon is be discreet. This one was really fun. Again, I don't know if I could show you this. Could I? Okay, well, I guess this is the closest I could put it at. But yeah, I went all around. I added these little things all around. This took a long time, but it was so worth it because it's a small detail, but it looks really, really cool. But yeah, I just really like how you have like this big body and then the tail just kind of like goes in like that. I just think it looked really fun. So for Chameleon, it's be discreet because, you know, since chameleons are known for, they're known for like camouflaging to their like backgrounds. So I wanted this to be a card that's telling you like, don't just like share and like be too open about everything. You know, sometimes you do gotta like keep things to yourself and you gotta like keep things private. So this card, Chameleon's like, yeah, don't share everything with everyone. Okay, Cheetah is cross the finish line. So since cheetahs are like super fast, and I kind of wanted it to look like they're like running, the cheetah is like running somewhere, they're really fast. I just thought that like cross the finish line, since they kind of look like they're like in a race or something. That's why I went with this like concept, like, oh, you know, run towards the finish line, like run towards the end, like complete something, finish your tasks, tie your loose ends. That kind of a card for cheetah. Chicken, hatch a new plan. This is actually one of my favorite cards in this deck. This is actually one of the first cards I illustrated for this deck. And I was like, oh, you're so cute. You're such a cute little chicken. So that's kind of like what made me like continue. I was like, oh, I really like how this looks. I was also like experimenting. This card was like, you know, an experimentation of this sort of like funky, quirky art style for this deck, and I really loved how it turned out. And so that's kind of what made me make a whole entire deck. So I went with hatch a new plan because literally when I thought of chicken, that the phrase hatch a new plan just like came to mind. So that's essentially why I went with that. I was like, no, that's a perfect message to put with chicken. So yeah, that is the cute little chicken. Okay. Crocodile is bide your time. So I was thinking with crocodiles, because they usually like wait in the water to catch their prey. That's why I was thinking like patience was a good concept to tie in with the crocodile. So it's like telling you, you know what, you need to patience in the sense that you need to wait for the right time to strike. So it's like, don't do something yet, just like wait a little bit. And same thing as a chameleon. For the crocodile, I did the same thing, where I went all around the edges and added these like little scales, tiny little scales. Again, I think the camera is like picking up. I hope it is. And got all these teeth. So it's a fun little crocodile, but also sort of a intimidating looking crocodile, I'm not gonna lie. Its mouth is huge. So that is Crocodile. Alright, Deer is sweeten your approach. So, you know, deers are gentle and, you know, cute and sweet animals. So I just think like deer meaning like compassion and gentleness just made sense. So I went with sweeten your approach. So it's telling you to be more gentle with yourself, be more like compassionate with yourself and others. Okay, Dinosaur. Dinosaur, a blast from the past. I mean, I had to include a dinosaur card. It just wouldn't make sense to make an animal deck and not put a dinosaur card. I mean, it would just be a betrayal to my name, Tyrannosaurus Hex. So I did put a Tyrannosaurus Rex card in this deck. I mean, I had to. And he looks so goofy. I love it. So yeah, a blast from the past, of course, you know, dinosaurs existed in the past. So that's why I just thought a blast from the past just made sense to associate with dinosaur. So it's a card about like nostalgia, or it could also be interpreted as a card that's telling you that something from the past is going to show up in the present. So that is the cute little dinosaur. Okay, next is Dog, which is keep your promises. So, okay, I was like, so for dog, I was like, you know, obviously there's so many different breeds of dogs. So I was like, okay, what breed do I want to illustrate for a dog? And, you know, since obviously a lot of these animals, they're like big, chunky, they got these big, chunky bodies. When I saw pugs, I was like, oh yeah, a pug would be perfect because they're kind of like chunky looking dogs. So that's why I went with a pug for dog. And it looks so cute. Look at how chunky he is. And then he got these little paws and he got the little tail. He's so cute. But I went with keep your promises for dog because, you know, since dogs are associated with like commitment and loyalty and devotion, so it's like a card telling you that you need to like follow through with your commitments and, you know, follow through with your intentions. Make the commitment. Okay, next is Dolphin. Ask for help. This is another card that I'm pretty proud of with the illustration. I just really like the way the dolphins just kind of does this shape, and then the tail looks really cool, and then the dots in the middle. It just turned out to be really cool looking. And I went with ask for help for dolphin. Because dolphins I know are like, they're quite helpful animals. Like they're known for like helping humans and stuff. So I just thought the theme ask for help worked really well for dolphin. Okay. So Dove is enjoy a moment of peace. So, you know, doves are typically associated with peace and grace. So that's why I went with I basically put a peace theme for Dove. So it's basically like the card. It's a good card. Like it's kind of like the temperance card in the tarot that's like telling you like, oh, you know, all is going well. There's all this harmony, there's no like drama or conflict or chaos going on. So that's like the idea. Like this is like the everything is okay, things are going well kind of card. So that was my idea for Dove. Okay, Eagle. Eagle is come to a realization. So for eagles, I mean, I was kind of thinking since like eagles could represent like clarity and vision, that's why I put come to a realization. So it's like the theme for eagle is basically just about having an epiphany, having this like light bulb moment, gaining clarity. So yeah, the eagle is about clarity in this deck. Okay, elephant. Elephant is forgive the past. So I wanted there to be a card about forgiveness, and I was wondering like which animal represents forgiveness, and I saw that elephants can mean that. I think elephant I had as the theme about like resilience and perseverance. I actually put don't give up for elephant originally, but after seeing that elephants could mean they are about like forgiveness, that's what they could represent. I was like, oh, you know what? I'll just have like camel be like the card about, you know, don't give up and like resilience and stuff. So that's why I went with elephant. They're actually quite like empathetic animals, so that's essentially why they represent forgiveness. So yeah, I just went with just like forgive the past. So I just kind of kept it a little bit like more like general, because I don't know what you need to forgive. Do you need to forgive yourself? Do you need to forgive someone else? I don't know what you need to forgive. So that's why I kept it quite like general in that sense. All right, next, flamingo is strike a balance. So yeah, flamingos are associated with balance because they do balance on one foot. And so that's why I was like, yeah, strike a balance. So it's like a flamingo is a card about like balance, moderation. So just like telling you that something in your life might be excessive or lacking, and it's like a card to tell you to like moderate whatever is in excess or lack. That is flamingo. All right, next is fox, which is see beyond the illusion. So, you know, since foxes are like the deceitful trickster kind of creatures, I just think see beyond the illusion was a good way to display that theme of deceit, or something is not as it seems. And I just love the big fluffy tail for the fox and his little face. That is fox. And then we have frog, which is take the leap. This is kind of like the Fool card in the tarot, telling you to take that risk. So yeah, frogs, they leap. So, you know, leap of faith. I just thought, you know, it made sense. Oh, okay, this one, the reasoning is so stupid. So I went with goose. Watch your step. Because here's the thing about goose, okay? The idea came from the fact that anywhere where there is a grassy field, there is always a swarm of geese poop. Like, they just poop everywhere on the grass, and then that's why you gotta watch your steps so that you don't step on their poop. And that's where the idea came from for goose. Like, it's really silly. Very silly, but you know what? It applies. It works. So yeah, that's why geese is watch your steps. So it's a card telling you to take precautions. Alright. Hermit crab. Oh, this hermit crab is just so cute. So I went with get out of your shell for hermit crab. I mean, this one I think is for obvious reasons. Why hermit shell? Hermit crab is get out of your shell, since hermit crabs, they like to retreat into their little shell. But this one, yeah, this one's telling you to, like, you know, get out of your comfort zone a little bit. You know, get out of, like, being shy and all that. Do something that maybe you're not used to. Maybe you don't feel too comfortable with doing it. It's like, just do it anyway. Just do it anyway. You'll thank the hermit crab later. Alright, horse. Horse is explore new territory. So for horse, I mean, obviously, horses have been known for, like, they've been associated with travel, because people have been using horses to travel for many, many, many years. So yeah, that's why with explore new territory, I was kind of thinking it could be like very literal, like in the sense that it's telling you to like maybe go visit someplace new, like go visit a new country. Or go visit that new bookshop that just opened. So it could be like very literal, telling you to explore a new place, or like metaphorical, like it's telling you to like go on a new adventure, take the road that's less traveled, kind of a deal. So that is horse. Okay, jellyfish is expect the unexpected. So since jellyfish, they do sting, I was kind of like, what's a good like phrase that goes with like the fact that they shock you, they sting you? And I was like, oh yeah, expect the unexpected. This is kind of like similar to the Tower card in the tarot. So it's like, yeah, get ready for some shit's about to go down when the jellyfish pops up. So with this card, there might be a little chaos, and jellyfish is here to warn you of that impending doom. Okay, lobster, I went with pinch your pennies. So I was thinking for lobster, like since they have the big claws, I'd like the phrase pinch your pennies just came to mind, and that's literally the reason why I went with it. This lobster got giant claws. Gigantic claws and a tiny head. Look at his little head in the middle. It looks very funny. Very cute. Okay. Oh, there we go. Monkey is question your thoughts. So just like the cat, monkeys also have a lot of things that they can be associated with, but what I thought of for monkey was it's like the monkey mind. That's what came to mind is monkey mind. So it's basically a card telling you to, like, you know, if you're dealing with doubts or negative thoughts, so the monkey is here to tell you to question your thoughts. Like, don't take these like doubts and these like negative thoughts as truth. So that's why monkey is question your thoughts. Okay, octopus is choose wisely. So this is another card that I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think it's because of the way that the like tentacles fill up the space really well. It looks really cool. But I went with choose wisely for octopus just because each of the tentacles almost looks like it's like a different path you could take. So I just thought that the concept of choice just worked really well for the octopus cards. That is octopus. Okay, owl is learn from your mistakes. So, you know, since owls are associated with wisdom, I just thought that putting the message learn from your mistakes makes sense for like the concept of wisdom, because wisdom is all about, you know, learning from experience, learning from your mistakes, or learning from others' mistakes. So that's why I went with this message for owl. Okay, ox. This ox is so sassy looking with the tail just like a I don't know, I just felt like making this ox super sassy, and I just love the way it turned out. So yeah, oxes make the sacrifice. So I was thinking, like, okay, I wanted there to be a card that's about making like a sacrifice themed card. And I was like, what? You know, I know that lambs are usually associated with sacrifice, but I have the sheep card in this deck, and I feel like sheeps and lambs, they do look kind of similar. So I basically just looked up like what other animal like represents sacrifice, and I saw that the ox can represent sacrifice. So that's why I went with ox for make the sacrifice. So that is this very sassy ox. All right, Peacock is Honor Yourself. Another card that, I mean, I just love how round this peacock is with all these like feathers, and it got a tiny little head. It looks so cute. I really like this peacock card. So I went with Honor Yourself for peacock because peacocks are associated with pride and beauty. So I feel like Honor Yourself is like the card telling you to be proud of yourself, you know, appreciate yourself, you know, respect yourself. Like, you know, that kind of message I just felt like made sense for like pride and beauty. So it's sort of like the self-acceptance kind of, like self-acceptance and being proud of yourself kind of card. All right, Penguin is Nurture Your Relationships. So the next card is Penguin, Nurture Your Relationships. So penguins are associated with like soulmates. So that's why I just thought that this card telling you to nurture your relationships or being like a relationship themed card worked really well with Penguin. And also just look at his like little head. He's just like ducking his little head. So cute. Okay, Pig, Claim Your Reward. So since pigs are associated with like wealth, I just thought that a card, you know, talking about a reward just for pig, you know, made sense. So it's like telling you, girl, claim that reward, claim that bag, get that bag, girl. So yeah, that is Pig. And also, Pig is, look at how this is a chunky pig. Very chunky pig. Okay. Pigeon is A Message Is On Its Way. I feel like this one is very self-explanatory, you know, pigeon carriers and pigeon. It just makes sense. Alright, Porcupine is Establish Firm Boundaries. So this is, again, the protection and boundaries card in the deck. And I just thought Porcupine because they have all these quills to, like, protect them from danger. It looks really cool, actually. I just, like, love how the quills just, like, filled up the space. Thought it was really fun. Alright, Raccoon is Acknowledge Your Shadow. So I was thinking that because, you know, raccoons are nocturnal animals. I thought that raccoons, like, being associated with the shadow I just thought that it made sense. So that's why I went with Acknowledge Your Shadow for Raccoon. Alright, so Rabbit is Receive a Stroke of Luck. So for Rabbit, I was thinking, like, Rabbit's Foot and how Rabbit's Foot are associated with bringing luck. So that's why Rabbit is like the good luck, receive good luck kind of card. Oops, oopsies, oh no. Okay, there we go. Alright, so Raven is Make Space to Grieve. So, you know, ravens and crows are kind of both like associated with, you know, bad omens or like loss and death and grief and all that stuff. They're also associated with like intuition and magic and that kind of stuff too. But I wanted there to be like a card about grief in this deck, and I just thought that Raven made the most sense, and that's why I did like Make Space to Grieve. So, you know, obviously like with grief, I think, you know, it's important that, well, you gotta make space for it. I don't think it's a good idea to, like, ignore it or try and, like, suppress it and act like it's not there. So yeah, the Raven is here to be like, no, you need to make space to grieve, you know, it's okay to go through a loss, you know. Like, it's, you know, oftentimes we don't like to again, like, acknowledge our pain and grief, but this one's saying that the raven is telling you that it's okay to grieve. Okay, scarab. Scarab is make room for new life. So whenever I made this scarab card, I actually thought about the Scarab and Dahlia tarot. I was thinking about Joanna Waldo. She's part of the tarot community on Instagram. Actually, I don't know if she has a YouTube channel. I'm actually not too sure, but she is on Instagram. And I literally thought of her while making her and her deck while making the scarab card. So yeah, make room for new life. Since scarabs, I know that in it's Egyptian mythology, but they tend to represent like renewal and rebirth and all that. So that's why I felt like make space for new life. So like a card telling you to like take a new direction, like start over, like that kind of like concept. I think just like made sense for Scarab. This is like the new beginning card in the deck. Alright, Scorpion Fly. Scorpion Fly is help someone in need. So I actually had to look up an animal that represents like generosity, like helping some, like there's the ask for help card, but I also wanted another one, or I wanted a card in this deck telling you to like help someone that needs the help. So like a card about generosity. And all of the animals that represent generosity had already occupied a different theme in this deck. But I saw that scorpion flies can represent generosity. So that's why I made the scorpion fly as the generosity card in this deck. And I'm gonna be honest, I was not expecting to like add a card like this. And I don't think I had ever seen a scorpion fly before. But I normally don't like insects. Like insects do kind of, well, I like bees and butterflies. But I normally don't like insects, but I will say the scorpion fly does look pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like the pattern on the scorpion fly looks pretty cool. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna add this card into my deck. I'm gonna add you to my deck. So there you go. Scorpion Fly is help someone in need. Okay, Seal is indulge in play. I remember showing this card to my friend, and he was like, oh my god, this animal looks like such a warm blanket. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, this animal does look like a warm blanket, actually, like the shape. I feel like this design would look cool on a blanket, actually, like now that I think about it. I actually really like the way that it looks. But yeah, I put indulge in play since seals are playful animals, so I just thought that like playfulness, joy, laughter was a good theme for seal. Alright, shark. Shark is face your fears. I mean, sharks are scary kind of looking animals. They're scary looking sea creatures, but I did learn that with sharks that they actually are not as, or they don't attack you. Like if they see you, they won't attack you. They'll kind of just circle around you. I mean, maybe it depends on the type of shark. But I remember like learning this like back in elementary school. Like there was somebody's dad that was a scuba diver, and like he actually like showed like some like videos of like him scuba diving, and there were like a bunch of sharks, and they were actually just like circling around them. They weren't like attacking them. So they're not as like violent and vicious as we think they are, but I don't know, maybe it depends on the type of shark. I'm not sure, but that's why I just put face your fears, since they are pretty scary. They're kind of huge. They got the sharp teeth. I mean, I did put the sharp teeth. There we go. There we go. Now you can see it pretty well. But yeah, I got this sharp teeth and lots of teeth. So it looks scary, but maybe not as scary as you would think. Alright, sheep. So here's the sheep. I mentioned it earlier. But I went with keep it simple for sheep. Because I was kind of thinking, like, you know, with sheep are pretty, like, simple, like, simple-natured and simple-minded animals. So that's why I think, like, you know, keep it simple. Like, it's a card telling you not to, like, overthink things or overcomplicate things. Like, maybe, like, take the easier path. So, like, that's kind of, like, the vibe that I wanted for this card. So that is sheep. Alright, snail is beware of delays. Snail got a lot of patternage going on. This is definitely a much more maximalist card in this deck. But it is fun. Like, I just love how, like, swirly it is, and then all the, you know, she got patterns. Snail got patterns. So I went with beware of delays for snail because, well, snails are very, very slow animals, and I just thought that snails meaning delay just, you know, makes sense. So just beware of delays when you get snail. Alright, so snake is say your goodbye. So snake, similar to scarabs, are like rebirth and stuff, but I was kind of thinking so scarab would be more like the new life and new beginning card, whereas snake would be the endings card, because, you know, since, like, with snakes they shed their skin, so in order to, like, embrace the new beginning, you have to, like, let go of something, or you need to, like, put an end to something. So that's why I went with say your goodbye. So it's like a card about endings and release and letting go, like telling you that something, it's a card that's telling you that something has run its course. Spider, untangle yourself. Okay, spider is my I love how the spider card came out in this deck. I'm very proud of this card. It is definitely my favorite card in this deck. And honestly, spider has no business looking as good as it does. This card has no business looking as cool as it does, because like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of insects. I do find spiders creepy and scary, but man, does this card look pretty awesome. Let me do a close-up. She got details over details. So you got all the, like, dots, got, like, these little dots, you got the little eyes, and the, like, legs. I mean, yeah, this card got details for details. So yeah, I went with untangle yourself for spider, because, you know, of course, like, being tangled in the spider's web, so you need to, like, untangle yourself. It's kind of like the devil card in the tarot, or the Eight of Swords. It could also be the Eight of Swords too, so it's like a similar concept. Alright, squirrel is think outside the box. So something funny, when I showed my friend this card, he was like, oh, it kind of looks like a number 2. Like, it makes this, the squirrel makes this, like, number 2 shape. And I was like, oh yeah, now I can't unsee it. Like, now, when I look at the squirrel, it looks like a number 2. But you know what? It doesn't matter with the tail and everything, and the body. Like, it just looks, the squirrel looks adorable. It's got a fluffy tail. But I went with think outside the box for squirrel, because since, like, squirrels are pretty resourceful and clever animals, so I just thought that a card about, like, resourcefulness or, like, coming up with, like, clever and creative solutions just made sense for squirrel. Alright. Swordfish. Clear away distractions. So I just wanted to make a swordfish card. I was like, I want swordfish to be in this deck, and so I did. I made it happen, and there's a swordfish in this deck. And I went with clear away distractions because I looked up, like, oh, what do, like, swordfish, like, symbolize? But they tend to symbolize, like, focus and determination. I guess it makes sense because of the, like, the sharp, like, what do you say? It's like the sharp beak thingy. The sharp nose. I'm just gonna say sharp nose that the swordfish has. And so that's why I put clear away distraction. So it's a card telling you that you need to focus. All right, Tiger is step up to the plate. So I wanted a card that is like telling you to like take the lead, take charge, you know, take the like responsibility and accountability. So it's like a card about authority. And I know that typically lions represent like authority, but in the Echo Tarot, I do have the Leo card and the Strength card already have lions. So I was like, okay, let me do a different kind of animal, and I did tiger instead, since tigers are also they're very like strong. So I thought that tiger made a really good like authority card as well. So yeah, that is tiger. All right, turkey is count your blessings. I feel like this one's an obvious one too, like turkey being associated with gratitude. I just think this one's kind of obvious, but I love the like pattern, like a sort of like a wavy pattern in the turkey, and then this like floofy little tail. It looks very cute. All right, turtle is take your time. So I was kind of thinking like this is just a card telling you like whatever it is that you want to do, don't like just like rush through it. Don't just like, you know, try and get it done. Like it's telling you to take your time, like enjoy the process. Don't like rush through life. Don't rush through what you have to do. So it's kind of like a card telling you to like take off the pressure. Oops. Oopsies. I have bumped this tripod so many times throughout this video. I'm very sorry. Okay, whale is look at the bigger picture. So I was thinking like with whales, because we are just so tiny compared to whales. Whales are huge. I was just thinking that like look at the bigger picture. This like theme telling you to like zoom out, or like I guess what is the kind of like what is your like long-term view, or yeah, like what is your long-term view? Kind of just made sense, just because of how large they are. Like that's quite literally why I went with that theme for whale. Oh my god, why can't I? Oops, I cannot pick up this card. Okay, there we go. All right, wolf. All right, wolf is trust your instincts. So I was thinking that, well, wolves, just like cat and monkey, I feel like they can represent an array of things. But I went with trust your instincts, since wolves have incredible instincts. So, you know, this is kind of like the High Priestess card. Like, it's basically telling you to trust your gut feelings. Or it's like a card that's giving you like a confirmation that your like perception of a situation is correct. So you better trust that. You better trust yourself kind of card. And this is the last card in the deck, which is Zebra, and it is express your creativity. So I was thinking that, like, you know, since zebras are associated with like uniqueness and individuality, I just thought that, you know, creativity, of course, is like, it basically has to do with individuality and uniqueness. So that's why I went with express your creativity as the theme for zebra, and it's got all these fun stripes. And that is all the cards for the Folk Animal Oracle deck. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out a card. I think I'll pull out a card from the Strawberry deck. I think, did I pull out a card from the Classic in the Echo Tarot walkthrough? I don't know, maybe. I think so. So this time I'm going to do one I'm going to pull out a card from the Strawberry. All right, so let's do some shuffling. This deck is very easy to riffle shuffle, which is really nice. I am awkwardly I'm awkwardly standing and like bent over. Okay, let's just do this a couple times. Get the cards nicely mixed up. All right, let me shuffle. All right. So is the card. Oh. The card is Butterfly Embrace Transformation. Well, you heard it here. Actually, I feel like for me personally, I do know exactly what this embrace transformation is talking about. There is something in my life that I am kind of contemplating on, like, should I do this? Should I not do this? It would kind of be sort of like a larger life-changing thing for sure. And it seems like this deck is like its way of being like, yes, embrace the transformation, embrace the change. So I feel like this card is giving me this like thumbs up of like, yes. So, you know, maybe, I mean, I don't know what you're going through in your life, but maybe, like, especially if you're thinking of changing something in your own life, or like maybe you need to, like, this card is telling you that you may need to excuse me? Oh my god, I've been talking for way too long. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was about to say. I was trying to say maybe you need to like embrace. I was about to say it like that again. Oh my god. That maybe you need to embrace or address the need to embrace change. Like you may need to address it. So oh my god, what was I saying? I think I was gonna say something else, but my clumsy mouth completely distracted me. Oh my goodness. But anyways, yeah, embrace transformation. This is your sign that if you want to change something, you better change it. So yeah, that is, oh my god, that is the whole walkthrough. Thank you so much for watching, and I want to say thank you for all the people who have shown support for this deck. It makes me happy that you guys, you know, that you guys like this deck, you guys like this creation of mine, especially like, you know, when I created the Echo Tarot, of course, like I wasn't sure how it was gonna be received. Like it was my first deck, but you know, I got a lot of like really kind comments and like people who got the deck that messaged me saying how much they liked the deck, and it really means a lot to me that you guys like what I make. So just thank you so much for the support, and I hope you guys also like the Folk Animal Oracle. So yeah, that's all I wanna say, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!